It is 6:47 a.m. on a Tuesday. Your alarm hasn't gone off yet. You are already awake, not because you have to be, because you want to be. 3 years ago, this same Tuesday morning looked completely different. You are 29. The alarm is going off. It has been going off for 11 minutes. You know this because you have been lying in the dark, counting the minutes between snoozes. Your body is already tired and the day hasn't started. You get up. You shower. You put on clothes that meet a dress code you didn't choose. You grab something from the kitchen that barely qualifies as breakfast. You are in your car by 7:20. The highway is the same highway it was yesterday. The same exit. The same parking garage. The same floor. The same floor. The same desk. You sit down. You open your laptop. You start answering emails that arrived while you were sleeping. Somewhere in the middle of the third email, you stop typing. You look around the office. Your coworker Daniel has been at this company for 14 years. He has a family photo on his desk from a vacation that happened 6 years ago. He still talks about that vacation. It is the last one he took. Your manager Sandra drives a car she can't afford to make people she doesn't care about think she's more successful than she is. She is in every meeting. She contributes to none of them. The man in the corner office has been there so long his name is on a parking spot outside. He gets in at 7. He leaves at 7. He has been doing this for 22 years. He calls it dedication. You call it something else. You stop typing. You look at your screen. You look at the email. You think about Daniel's vacation photo. You start typing again. This is the rat race, not the traffic, not the long hours, not the difficult boss. The rat race is the moment you realize you are running, and the moment after that when you realize you don't know where you are running to. It happened on a Thursday evening. You were sitting in your car in the parking garage after work. You had not turned on the engine yet. You were just sitting. You pulled out your phone. You opened your banking app. You looked at your balance, $2,200. You had been working for 6 years. You had a salary. You had benefits. You had direct deposit. You had a 401k that your company matched up to 4%. And you had $2,200. Not because you spent recklessly. Not because anything bad had happened. Because the system that was supposed to build your life had been spending your life instead. Rent. Car payment. Insurance. Student loans. The credit card with the balance you kept meaning to pay off. The subscription services you forgot you had. The meals you bought because you were too tired to cook after the commute. The things you bought on weekends to reward yourself for surviving the week. The money came in every 2 weeks, and somehow it was always almost gone. You sat in that parking garage for 23 minutes. You did not turn on the engine. You asked yourself one question. If I keep doing exactly what I am doing right now, what does my life look like in 10 years? The answer came fast. You did not like it. You did not quit the next day. You did not make a dramatic announcement. You did not storm into your manager's office. You did not post anything online. You went home. You made dinner. You sat at your kitchen table with a piece of paper. You wrote down every single dollar that came in every month. Then you wrote down every single dollar that went out. The numbers did not match in the way you wanted them to. $4,100 coming in after taxes. $3,840 going out. $260 left. You looked at that number, $260. That was your margin. That was the gap between where you were and where you could go. That was the distance between trading your time forever and eventually not having to. $260. You circled it. Then you looked at the right side of the paper, the $3,840. And you started asking a different question. Not how do I make more, but what on this list is buying me something I actually want? The streaming services. 3 of them. You watched maybe 4 hours a week across all of them. $47 a month for 4 hours a week. You canceled 2. The gym membership, $55 a month. You had been 7 times in 4 months. You canceled it. You started running outside. The food delivery apps, you added them up. $310 last month. You started meal prepping on Sundays. It took 90 minutes. It saved $200. The coffee, $140 a month. You bought a coffee maker. It cost $34. It paid for itself in 11 days. At the end of 30 days, your margin was not $260. It was $780. You did not feel deprived. You felt something you had not felt at that desk in years. In control. You started investing the $780 every month, not a savings account, an index fund, S&P 500, broad market, low expense ratio. You set up automatic contributions. The money moved on the first of every month before you could think about spending it. You did not try to time the market. You did not pick individual stocks. You did not watch the numbers every day. You just let it run. Month 1, $780 invested. Month 2, $1,560. Month 3, $2,340. The market moved. Some months up, some months down. You did not touch it. You started reading. Not motivational content. Not get rich quick strategies. Just the basics. How compound interest works. What a Roth IRA is. What expense ratios actually cost you over 30 years. How the tax code treats investment income differently from salary income. You learned that the system you had been living inside had exits built into it that nobody had ever pointed to. You started walking toward them. 8 months in, you started something on the side. Nothing impressive. Nothing you told anyone at work about. You had a skill from your job. You knew how to organize data, how to build systems, how to make processes run without constant attention. You found 3 small businesses in your city that were drowning in disorganization. A local accountant who was losing track of client files. A small restaurant group that had no system for tracking inventory. A dental office that was scheduling appointments manually on a paper calendar in 2024. You charged them each $400 a month to build and maintain simple systems. $1,200 a month. On top of your salary. On top of the $780 you were already investing. You did not announce this. You did not post about it. You did not tell your coworkers. You just kept showing up at the same desk, answering the same emails, attending the same meetings. But something had changed. You were no longer trapped. You were choosing to be there. For now. Nobody noticed. Daniel still talked about his vacation from 6 years ago. Sandra still drove the car she couldn't afford. Your manager still sent emails at 11 p.m. The man in the corner office still arrived at 7. And you sat at your desk every day and answered your emails and attended your meetings and did your work. But every month, the number in your investment account grew. And every month, the 3 businesses paid you. And every month, the gap between where you were and where you needed to be got smaller. You did not look different. You did not act different. Nobody knew that you were building something in the margins. Nobody knew that the alarm that used to feel like a punishment was starting to feel temporary. Nobody knew that the parking garage where you used to sit in silence after work had become something else in your mind. A countdown. You had a number. $85,000 in your investment account, $1,200 a month from the 3 businesses, a savings rate that meant you could survive for 14 months without any income at all. You did not need the job anymore, not to survive, not to pay rent, not to cover the car or the insurance or the groceries. You needed it for one thing only: comfort, the familiar, the predictable, the known. And on a Wednesday morning in March, you decided that comfort was costing you more than it was worth. You walked into your manager's office. You sat down. You said you were leaving. She asked where you were going. You said you were going to work for yourself. She looked at you the way people look at someone who just said something they don't fully understand. She said, okay. You said thank you. You walked back to your desk. You sent 3 emails. 1 to your clients telling them you are now full-time. 1 to your investment platform increasing your monthly contribution. 1 to yourself with no words. Just a blank document you saved with the date. You packed the few things from your desk into a bag. You said goodbye to Daniel. Daniel said he was jealous. You said you didn't do anything he couldn't do. He nodded. He turned back to his screen. You walked out. You did not make a scene. You did not post about it. You just left. It is 6:47 a.m. on a Tuesday. Your alarm hasn't gone off yet. You are already awake. The coffee is brewing. your laptop is open, not to emails from someone else's deadline, to your own work, your own clients, your own numbers. You are not rich. You are not famous. You do not have a story that goes viral. You have something smaller and more useful than that. You have a Wednesday off. You earned it, not by working harder inside the maze, but by finding the exit nobody told you was there. The rat race does not end with a parade. It does not end with a grand announcement. It does not end with a moment anyone else will remember. It ends on a Tuesday morning when the alarm doesn't go off, when the coffee is yours, when the day belongs to you. Nobody noticed you leave, and that is exactly how it should be. The exit was never meant to be dramatic. It was meant to be quiet, earned in the margins, built in the hours nobody was watching. You didn't escape by running faster. You escaped by stopping, looking around, and walking through a door that was always there. Start saving. Start learning. Start working on something you control. $1 at a time. One skill at a time. One day at a time. And one morning, you'll wake up. You'll pour a cup of coffee. You'll look around, and you'll realize you're out. You're free. And nobody even knows. The rat race is not a requirement. It's a choice. And you can choose to leave. Not with a dramatic announcement. Not with a grand exit. Quietly. Slowly. In the margins. In the extra hours. In the decisions you make when nobody is watching. You are not your job. You are not your paycheck. You are not the label on your door. You are the sum of your choices. The rat race is not a requirement. It's a choice. And you can choose to leave. Nobody will notice. That's the point.